Well, there you go. We're live. Penny is
How
here.
do you know?
So it is Thursday. We are celebrating Halloween this month, and I could not think of doing a Halloween again without Salem's Lot being mentioned. It is one of my favorite mini series of its time. I consider it to be probably one of the best produced TV miniseries. And they did combine it into a film initially, but they cut almost an hour out of it when they released it first. And finally, we got the Blu-ray special cut of it, which was both full episodes edited as a movie. And that's the way to do it.
3 hours long, and it works perfectly because I'm one to bitch about long movies, but I had so much fun. Time just went by. And I've never seen this show.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun little movie. I wonder sometimes how much was probably edited out for even the miniseries, and that we'll never get to see because there's so many things that are in there. But it's so well produced. They had an amazingly adept cast. I mean, you had James Mason, for God's sake, as Straker.
You have to say it correctly. Said it like James Mason.
Oh. He just became a member again, I think, because weren't you a member before? Oh, Andy Morrow gifted it. That's what it is. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you,
Who got
Andy.
it? Penny. Oh, that's one to deserve it.
Well, originally it was. It from what I understand in the original book, because I never read the book. I only read the short story. Well, Jerusalem's Lot. And there were two in that book that take place there. One in the old days and one that's more modern. I never got to read the actual novelization that King wrote that was adapted into this film. But I understand because I did read Needful Things, and it's pretty much the same story. Very similar, if not the same characters. Difference is this time the cop is the hero in Needful Things. Or protagonist, what do you want to call it? So, but this is a great little mini series. I think really honestly, because I had read Stephen King's Carrie in middle school, and I didn't like it. I was like, this is meh. I didn't think it was very good. The movie was much better than the book for me.
That's because Stephen King is a mediocre writer at best.
He is. He really is. He's well, I would say he's a writer because he's, proclaimed as an author, but the fact is he's a writer.
No.
In the same way that Mickey Spillane was a writer, tapping out one finger at a time, because that's how Mickey Spillane wrote, was with two fingers.
Hey, I write with two fingers.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that as long as the outcome's good.
I write with two fingers and a thumb, and this is a known fact. It's been brought up on the show. So I don't know why they felt it necessary to act like I was criticizing for doing that.
Because you used
anyway.
the thumbs.
That's right,
You're a thumb supremacist.
We just like to be dicks.
So anyway, about the show and the book. I never read this book. I kind of wish I had, but I swore off fiction when I hit my 40s. I didn't want to read fiction anymore. And so reading anything by Stephen King was just never going to happen. And it's ironic because like Mac would always buy me for my birthday novels that I've read most of them already, but I'm like, I don't read novels anymore. I read history books. So, but Stephen King was just a period of time for me. It was the 80s. After the 80s, I was done with him because I learned really quickly that Clive Barker is a true author. Technically, I would refer to him as a poet of horror, and I would refer to Dinar Kuntz as a true author, as well as Straub. I love the writing of Peter Straub. He's the one who wrote that story, Ghost Story, that got turned into a horrifying film. And oddly, both Dean Koontz and Peter Straub have both teamed up with Stephen King, who I consider to be a mediocre author, more of a writer than anything. And there are certain books of his that I praise, but most of them I'm like, it's well written to a point, and then he just got lazy. And in fact, when I wrote reviews in the magazine back in the 90s, my statement was, if you want to read Stephen King, read up to the last chapter and close the book and make up your own ending. You'll be far more satisfied. Because, yeah, Haunting of Julia. That's right. Straub's a very good writer. The movie can be seen as sort of an inspiration to Fright Night because it involves an older man and a young teen fighting against vampires. I think that's very true. But it's sort of the same thing if you go all the way back to the 60s and watch the film The Fearless Vampire Killers by, what is his name? The Polish-American director who fled America, Roman Polanski. Monkey Jeebus. Yay, Monkey Jeebus. Awesome. I don't see him in here, though. Is he in here?
No.
Oh, Andy Morrow did it again, you son of a bitch. He's handpicking people he's adding. That was really nice of you, dude. The first half of the movie feels like a murder mystery movie because we don't actually see the vampire until later in the story. Yeah, it's true. I really consider this the best made-for-TV, as far as production value goes, made-for-TV miniseries. On top of that, I think this is the best Stephen King film ever made. Hands down. But of course, Martin likes to point out some of the shortcomings, like the main vampire is clearly designed to look like Count Orlok from Nosferatu with the two buckets vampire. But yet when he turns people to vampires, they're proper vampires with the fangs over here on the canines. And it's like, oh, okay. That's actually a good grievance. It's a good point. Like, why are their vampire teeth different than his? It's weird.
Maybe with the passing of time, the more he's alive, he turns into something more and more inhuman.
Maybe it's something I don't know. If it's not in the script, you don't fucking know it. It's not on the screen, you don't know it. That's why I get after people who say that Rick Deckard's a replicant. And I'm like,
which he is.
Show me the fact where he is. Show me that fact where it shows that. If it's not in the script, it's not in the movie. It's not in the movie. You're just making up shit. But anyway, so yeah, Slusher Fred, you knew who I was talking about, Roman Polanski, because The Fearless Vampire Killer is a great film. I love that film. It's not everybody's favorite. I know a lot of people who hate that movie. I love it. I saw it when I was a kid. How old was I? 5? 4 or 5? I was 4. I think it was 4, possibly 5. It might have been 69 when I saw it. Because I think it was done in 67, but it came to TV. The edited version is what I saw. And
I have never seen it.
It's a fun little film. It's kind of a comedy. And again, it's the old vampire killer with the young man hunting down these vampires. And so it's really, I think, one of the first versions where it did something like that with the old Van Helsing with the younger guy. But if you go back to even Dracula, it's Van Helsing and a bunch of strapping young men. I mean, Read into that what you want.
You know, when the last vampire movie that we should do for this season should be Renfield. Let's end up with a good
I don't know,
modern
because I think I've
take.
got them all planned out. I'm
Oh,
not sure
okay.
because I did a whole bunch of them. Let me go see. Didn't we already do Renfield?
Nope. I just looked in, and it doesn't appear
Because
in
I
our
know I
library.
talked about it on the channel because I talked about how much I loved it.
Yes, Lasher
Let's
Fred,
see
and I have to admit, for a second there, I was kind of lost. Okay, what?
Let's see. I've got American Werewolf in London, Predator, Innocent Blood, The Keep, The Shining, From on Friday, Salem's Lot today. We already did Dracula. We already did Shadow of the Vampire. Let's see. We will be doing the last week of the month. We will be doing Army of Darkness. That'll be Greg, Nadia, and me doing that. And I think that's all I've got done right now for horror for this month. I'm trying to get stuff that Anima can tolerate. She's
Come on, I'm not that much a puss. Shut the fuck up. No, we haven't done American Werewolf yet. You just watched it with me.
You're gonna love that movie. That is such a fun film.
I keep asking for The Crow.
With me.
That's not horror.
A little bit.
I loved it. I had the poster over my bed for over a decade until my cats tore it to shreds.
What? The Crow?
The poster. The Crow.
Yeah.
I saw that movie and
I had no idea I was having a relationship with a goth girl.
I had my goth face. And then
we need to see pictures of that.
Can I please not get interrupted all the time? Chris showed me that movie and I loved it so much. And I had my birthday coming up, and his sister had the brilliant idea of ordering me the poster. And I had that over my bed until I got the cats, and they were kittens and young. And I never put frames on my shit. I just stick it to the walls with sellotape. So yeah, that poster lived about a year after we got the cats, and then it was gone.
Man, Andy Morrow's passing out some memberships here. That's really nice of you, man.
You can't pick where the memberships go. That's YouTube. But it's nice that it picked Penny and Bush.
Oh, because it's got Penny, Bush, Radioactive.
And just another one. Red Shirt. But last I checked, you couldn't. What?
Don't pay attention to that, Martin. Don't put that up there for long. You're just going to distract her and trigger her.
I'm sorry, I was updating the chat list.
If it's not the people on the panel interrupting me, it's chat distracting me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. You and your ADD.
No. I'll give you a pass for calling me OCD, but ADD definitely no.
Somebody's getting distracted. So, but anyway, getting back to talking about Salem's Lot.
Wait.
It was 79. I had just turned 15, and I got to tell you, this show scared the crap out of me. I love vampires films. I really do. And this is one of the better done ones. And and it introduced me really, because I had read one Stephen King in middle school when I was in the 7th grade. I read Carrie, and I wasn't impressed with it. This I was impressed with. And I made the connection when I was at school that it's the same guy. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't start reading King until really seriously in the early 80s. I read whatchamacallit, we're at the hotel, the Overlook. Shining. I read The Shining. I was in high school when I read that, and I thought the book was overly self-indulgent, and I didn't like it. But when I heard that Kubrick was doing The Shining, I was intrigued. Like, what was he going to do with this? Because I didn't like the book. Everybody's like, every single fucking Stephen King fan that I knew in school was like, topiary, man. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, man, he's, And then they were complaining when the movie came out, same people, like, man, they got it all wrong. Kubrick got it all wrong. They left out the whole that he forgot to take care of the boilers and the place blew up. Did he do it on purpose? And I'm like, I don't care. I prefer, Kubrick's version. I think it's a better story.
Wow.
And I don't consider it a horror film, even though.
And if you want to know more about
Andy
Gerry,
is on a spree.
Saturday. Oh,
Andy,
yeah.
what is going on? Did you get your state check?
Maybe, who knows?
Are you retired now? What do they call that there in England when you're retired and you get your pensioner? Are you a pensioner?
I thought retired was the word. Oh no, that's something else.
No, over in England they're called pensioners. So
I know.
But no, it's deeply appreciated that you're doing that, man. It's so nice when people do that. Andy, your birthday's this weekend? Is that what he's saying?
Apparently,
is that what he's saying? Okay, well, happy birthday, mate. And many more. The villain, the master, and the first season of Buffy was basically done as a reference to both Nosferatu and Salem's Lot. I couldn't watch. I couldn't stomach that show. I like the movie, and I loved Angel.
Oh,
Spin-off
Angel was
series.
far better than Buffy.
That's what I said. Turning 57.
Buffy, but...
You are younger than Keith and definitely me. But Martin, he's older than you?
Yes. I'm just 51. Almost 52. There you go.
You're just a baby.
Yeah, right.
What am I then? If Martine is a baby, what am I?
I was already wrestling and punching my sisters in the boob. I was punching my sisters in the boob by the time you were born.
Oh my God.
That's not messed up at all.
Hey, let me tell you something. It's not always on purpose. It was just when you start throwing fists.
Okay.
As a kid, when you're a kid and you're throwing fists, things happen. And I was the baby.
With that climate, yes, I'm sure it's been like 87.
So if I threw a punch at my sister's face, I would almost inevitably hit their boobs. Did you know that Tara Reid from American Pie series had appeared in the sequel, A Return to Salem's Lot? I'm going to tell you something, Slasher Fred. I fucking hate that movie. I got so angry at it. Because I thought this was going to be a proper sequel, and it's none of that. I have it. I own it because I'm a completionist in my collections. And so I have it in my collection, but I won't watch it. The only thing good about that film was that it had Michael Moriarty in it.
I just saw it mentioned in reviews and people seem to hate it. Like, there's no controversy. They all say,
I don't know anybody who likes that.
Yeah.
I really don't. I doubt Slasher Fred even likes it. I'm going to bet he doesn't like it. But that's cool. Tara Reid, boy, I wonder how old she was. David Soul is great in it, and James Mason, fucking, my God, that scene between him and as Martin called him, Sheriff Harkonnen, is one of my favorite moments in the entire show when he's questioning Mr. Straker. And I've always done a James Mason impression, which is basically you do a posh English accent and then tighten up like you need to poop. James Mason needs to go to the bathroom really bad. So James Mason was so good in that scene because he says, well, ciao. And he says, what? He says, ciao. And he says, "It's Italian." He says, "You're Italian?" "No, the word." I always chuckle at that because it's so wry. The wit is so wry. Fred Willard, yeah, he plays the cheating real estate agent that's sleeping with his receptionist. And she's one of the characters that I wanted to see get eaten, which I thought is what they were going to do. And they never finished that story. And I'm assuming there was probably more to it that probably got shot, got edited out. I don't know. John is a little more subtle. Gilgood is.
Nope.
But I do love it. He says, "Would you like me to wash your..."
Now, well, you were saying there that the character of the wife wasn't explored enough, but we don't know about the book. We have this comment from a new viewer, Rain on Asphalt. It says the movie's better than the book. The book had character that went nowhere and redundant character like Barlow and Straker. Now,
Well,
I
it
can
doesn't
see.
surprise me because I've never read it. That because Stephen King, again, I'm going to point out, I think he's an okay writer, not great. He's prolific. I mean, I've always said he'll start writing a book in the 80s, and he'll get to page 2000 and go, "Oh, I better wrap this shit up." And his endings are just awful because of that. You know, It in particular has one of the worst endings. And his fixation with young people and sex is weird. He's a fucking weird dude. There's something wrong with him.
At least he ends his books on like another author that I will not name here, motherfucker.
Oh,
Name him.
don't go there.
Ah,
Who?
the guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
No, I will point out, like, my favorite book by Stephen King was Pet Sematary. I thought it was his best written and actually has a goddamn ending to it. And the ending is pretty much what you see in the movie. I thought that was good. I thought that was that he's so far gone that he thinks that she's fresh dead. So it'll be different. That's what crazy thinks like. And Stephen King is insane. If you've not read his rants, then you don't know what I'm talking about. That guy's insane. Hello, Snortopus.
Yes.
not
If
really-
you want to know how insane he is, just take a look at his tweets.
His tweets are insane. Oh, I didn't like the new it too. I like the first one, but the problem was it's only part of the story. So he split it up into two movies, but he split it up in a way that when they finally shot the second film, they went, "Oh shit, we can't do some of this stuff without having the kids back." And the kids were older. They're going through puberty and shit. Oh.
Yeah, that was an odd choice. They should, if they were planning to do two movies, they should have shoot them like they shot Lord of the Rings, all in one go.
I actually like that story. I actually really did like that. Sometimes they come back. It was not a bad made-for-TV movie, but all that was in many ways was fall off from Stand By Me, because a lot of the themes in that were carried over. But anyway, but he does that because Needful Things is nothing more than a retelling of Salem's Lot, but instead of a vampire or his daywalker, it's just the guy that owns the shop, which is what Straker owns. Straker owns the same shop. They have the same sheriff. It's the same character. But I like Needful Things as a film with Ed Harris. I enjoyed that film. And of course, you got Max von Sydow as the owner of the Curiosity Shop. And there's the kid. He had some problems in his later years. He became preacher, and then was in Hawaii and got caught committing fraud. And I don't know if he did 5 years in prison or if he was sent to jail for a bit. And I want to point out how fucking awesome that house is. And by the way, the bottom of the house is real. It's the top is a facade. That upper tier, but I think it's one of the best. And again, Toby Hooper directed this. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist. Great director. I love his work. And I like this again with the yellow Jeep because Stephen King at the time was driving around in a yellow Volkswagen.
Let me tell you, that model of Jeep is my favorite vehicle ever.
That's the Cherokee, right?
I don't know because in Venezuela it got with 2 different names, but I think it's a Renegade. I think it's a Renegade.
I'm looking it up right now.
CJ7. I know it's
that is a CJ7. That's exactly what it is. My brother's first Jeep was a CJ7. He had the blue, metallic blue. And that's back when Jeep was a Jeep. A lot of people don't know that Jeep was made a lot like the Colt 45. It should rattle. It was spare parts from other products that made the Jeep. That was it. The only thing that was Jeep was the chassis.
The parts would go on too.
And the chassis and frame were Jeep, but everything else inside that Jeep was put together. And so it was, I don't know, there's something totally American about that. And then in the 90s, they began to produce Jeep parts. And that's when it all changed for Jeep, was in the 90s. But I had already owned Jeeps. My first Jeep was a Wagoneer. The classic Wagoneer with the paneling. It was nice. Rusted it out. Rusted the bottom of it out because I went four-wheeling too much. And it was apparently not designed for that in water. And I rusted the shit out of the floorboard. Patty was driving one day and I was sitting over in the passenger seat and my foot went through. I shit you not. That happened for real. The mat went flopping out. I was like, holy shit.
That sounds fun.
So Straker comes walking out of the house and spots David Soul's character. And he's driving that piece of shit, was it 5,000-pound fucking Cadillac? That thing was a whale right there.
You need to paint it pink so it can go faster.
What?
I am not surprised about that. Brandon's fault. I'm really not. The whole idea about Carrie was his fixation with girls' menstrual cycles. And he threw it away and his wife Tabitha made him finish it.
As a punishment?
You would think so, but no, she's about as fucking weird as he is.
Okay.
And not in a good way.
By the way, Gary, you didn't get the name right. It's Rain on Asphalt. You shortened it in a weird way.
That's because I'm reading very quickly while also thinking about other things.
That's why I'm telling you. You want to piss off new people by not getting their names, right? Especially since this is English.
Going to get pissed
no
at me
excuses. No excuses. 3 English words. Your American brain can do that.
Check out her crazy fucking hair.
Yeah, I love that hairstyle.
Bernadette Peters. Bernadette Peters made that hairstyle famous.
Mm-hmm. You can.
Hi, I'm Fred Willard. You might know me from such shows as Fernwood Tonight. Mary Hartman.
Hey, Wade.
Hey, Wade.
I saw it, but I didn't read it because I was in a hurry.
Goddamn Kane in the shape of a human femur. I loved it.
But the kid, anyway, his name is Lance Kerwin, and he got in trouble, and I'm not sure if he did time. But I know that he was.
Story with kids from movies. It's not a good thing for a kid to get famous through a movie. They all go.
Well, he had a career all the way up into the 90s, and then he sort of dropped out, and he focused on other things, and then he became a preacher. And it's while he was in Hawaii doing his preaching that he falsified some information regarding money that was given to him through the state of Hawaii.
Corruption.
He got in trouble for that. I'm not sure if he did time, but I know he was convicted of it. And then he relocated to California again and lived out his last days there. And the kid died. And, you know, he was known for a lot of different things.
Yes, he was in Enemy Mine.
Yeah, well, that was a small part. He was actually best known for his TV series, James at 15. And that show kind of ended abruptly after when he turned 16. There was a scene with a girl where it was clear they had sex. And the controversy led to protests by mothers everywhere because mothers ruin everything. They just really do. When it comes to cool shit, mothers are there to destroy it. They were the first Karens. They were the ones protesting rock music as Satanist.
Yeah, the story comes to mind where mothers of young soldiers demanded safe rooms on military ships.
Well, not only that, when I was in the Army was when things started getting really bad with moms with the Army.
Oh, when that one
it got so bad with the and that's what one of the things that happened. Right after that, right after my cycle, they began the yellow card thing. And this is all mothers that started this. If you hold up that card, it's called a stress card. It's yellow. If you hold up the stress card, drill sergeant can't talk to you.
God,
drill sergeant can't mess with you.
Fucking snowflakes, man up. And that goes for females too.
These are moms. That was moms that started that shit. Nobody else. And they got one of our drill sergeants. Agreed, it's one of them I didn't like. I thought he was an asshole, and I didn't think he was funny. And he had the worst cadences. He would call the worst cadences. He always did the Humpty Dumpty cadence, which is just a fucking terrible cadence. It's just awful. But he loved that thing. And all the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. You left. Oh my God. What a
kindergartners are bored by that.
So he made a kid, he got caught with contraband and made him drink his Listerine. And because it had an alcohol content, the mother went after him and destroyed his career. We watched that happen in real time. But anyway, Lance Kerwin, as I was trying to explain, got into trouble, left Hawaii, moved back to California, and there he got sick. He had all kinds of medical conditions towards the end. And I don't know what may have caused some of them, but here, I'll read it to you. Kerwin had a daughter, Savannah Page, with Kirsten Lansdale, and 4 children with his wife, Yvonne Kerwin. He gave up acting in the mid-90s, but returned to the screen in 2022 for The Wind and the Reckoning, which I've never seen. It was shot in Hawaii. In July of 2010, he was reported that Kerwin was working as a pastor at Calvary Chapel in Kapa, Hawaii, and a program leader at the U-Turn for Christ, a drug and alcohol rehabilitation because he had been a drug addict. The report also stated that Kerwin and his wife, Yvonne, pled guilty to falsifying documents to obtain state medical assistance. And they lost 3 of their properties they owned. Kerwin was sentenced to 5 years probation and did over 300 hours of community service. Kerwin relocated to Santa Clemente, California, where he passed away on January 24th, 2023, of ischemic heart disease and atherosclerotic coronary artery disease. So he had hardening of the arteries. And that's common with intravenous drug abusers.
Yeah.
Both of those. So it's sad. But he was such a good young actor. He really was. And he was good in this, man. Now, that's Bonnie Bedelia. I think what she's probably best known as is Harrison Ford's wife in Presumed Innocent. And she's really good in that. When she goes cold eyes at the end and you realize she's the killer, holy shit, I get chills every time she does that delivery. And Harrison Ford does some fucking acting in that. The welling of tears in his eyes and the way he's fighting back crying was really well done.
Act.
The Marston house. You know, he's fixated with the Marston house, and she starts digging into, why is there a problem with it? It's not like she does it that way, but they should have done it that way because I think it would have been funny. What's your problem with Marston? Why are you so fixated on him? Movie Lost Boys has many similarities to Salem's Lot, where the first half is basically a murder mystery and also the vampire floating outside the window. Absolutely. I think there's absolutely a sphere of influence within the vampire community for films that it's okay. One of my favorite, by the way, one of my favorite vampire films from the 80s, I do want to talk about on here. Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, Tim Thomerson. Good God. Oh, and what's his name from Heroes? That played the Air Force captain. It's his first movie. It's called After Dark? Was that it?
Don't know.
Martin, I'm talking to you. Because I know Anima doesn't know. I was talking to you.
And I answered. I said, I don't know.
Everybody knows I don't know.
After Dark, you say? Looking for something like
vampire. I'm just looking at 80s vampire films.
1987, Ian Kennedy, Tom Wilson? No, that's wrong.
I can't believe it's on the top list here. It's also, I think, Mimi Leader's first film. I think that's who directed it.
Okay, Rain on Asphalt says it's Near Dark.
Near Dark. I fucking love that film. I love that movie. The scene with Bill Paxton after they kill that bar full of people, and he's like licking his fingers, going, finger licking good. It's so dark and funny. William Goldman wrote my favorite script of all time. If you read the story of the Monkey's Paw, I read that as a kid. Her dead son to come back. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's connections with Pet Sematary. Absolutely, with Monkey's Paw. I got to tell you, the thing that's funny is like when I hear Christians talking about be careful what you ask from God, you might just get it. And what they're referring to is the monkey paw thing. It's like, God is not the fucking monkey paw.
That's not
if you ask him for
though.
If you ask God for patience, he's going to give you more things to be patient for. And I'm like, what fucking Bible did you read?
I think that's not a religious thing. That whole careful what you wish for, you might get it. I know
there are Christians. Context. I'm referring to Christians that I know personally in my life. Still know them that believe that. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, no. That's like God's waiting for you to fuck up in a prayer so he can like get you. Like, come on.
Nah, that's
it's like weird. I mean, even if you don't believe in God, because I'm an agnostic, it's like I just sat there, even as a Catholic, going, that's just ridiculous. There we go. George Zunza. George Zunza is in my top 20 favorite actors of all time. talking to one of the other guys in my top 20s, Jeffrey Lewis. That's Juliette Lewis's dad. You know her from, well,
yeah,
Quentin Tarantino, or not
Natural
Quentin
Born
Tarantino.
Killer.
Natural Born Killer. She was in the
From Dusk
remake.
Till Dawn.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She is in that. But she's also, her big break was the remake of the classic Robert Mitchum film where he's a psycho.
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear, yeah. I think this movie at one time did have a theatrical release because the DVD included. Yeah, and it was the hour and a half long one. And it's chunked apart and badly done. They actually used to do this back in the 70s. Take TV shows, pilots, and release them theatrical. Battlestar Galactica, 1978.
Mm-hmm.
Released theatrical. I'd already seen it on TV and I still paid to see it.
I saw Galactica on theaters.
Is that going somewhere?
Yeah. No.
Where's it going?
I saw that on theaters, and the show came after. We had
okay. Now I see what you're saying. That's what you should have said. Because I was trying to figure out why you said that. Okay. Hey, yeah. Hi, Vinkman's girl. I mean, the Marathon Man script, great. Oh, absolutely. We've already covered that on this channel. That is one of the most influential films on me. That one and 3 Days of the Condor had the greatest impact on me.
Scene. Ugh.
Is it safe?
Yeah. No, when he goes dentist on him and tortures him. Oh my God, I almost lost it.
Now you see horrible. This tooth here is healthy. This one has so many cavities in it that the nerves have all gone dead. What we want is a healthy tooth with a lot of raw, fresh nerves. And it starts drilling into that tooth.
Yeah.
It really is. And also another great film showing the skills of acting of William Devane as the CIA operative that's working with Zell. So this is a kind of a good scene. That is Lou Ayres, the guy that he was just talking to. Lou Ayres is, of course, the famous actor who starred in the movie All Quiet on the Western Front, the original film. And he was, his career was ruined when the war broke out. And he made a proclamation of being a conscientious objector, which they were going to try to make him a medic, but it didn't work out. So he just took the status as a conscientious objector, and then under the radar went ahead and still volunteered a few months later to serve in the war as a combat medic. And he was awarded several meritorious awards for gallantry. And that was never learned. His career was destroyed during the war years. But sometime around between 47 and 51, it was finally learned that he had served. And all of a sudden he got his career back, but his young years were over. So he always played like older guys or teachers and shit like that, bit parts. And this is one of the films that he's in. And he plays Marston's former high school teacher that saw great talent in his writing. And of course, he cross-references the new kid, played by Lance Kerwin, because he's his teacher too. And so the two of you have a lot in common. And they have no idea until the end of this movie when the only two that fucking got out of that fucking town. Now, I will say that in the movie and miniseries, they don't really go into just how many people are fucking dead in this town. And you don't get to see a lot of vampires. There are apparently more in the book, but it's definitely in the new film that just came out. And I have a copy of it already. I'm going to watch it. I've heard it's absolute shit, but I'm still going to check it out. See what they got right, see what they got wrong. That is said in the story of Venkman's Girl. When the character, the teacher, sees the groundskeeper from the cemetery has turned into a vampire, he absolutely rejects. And how does he say it, hon? Because I love the way he says it. I revoke
my invitation.
your invitation.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
And it forces him out the window with the crucifix. So he can't come back in.
That's probably just the cross, not a crucifix.
No, the cross is what shoved him out the window, but he can't come back in.
I'm just teasing because you keep mixing up or ignoring the differences between crucifix and cross.
I didn't say crucifix.
Yes, you did.
No, I said cross just now.
You say,
let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, you're bringing up something I didn't say this time. No, previously, yeah, because I like to joke about it. But anyway, Jacob is here, good friend of mine here in the Springfield area, though he moved. So at this point, it's just pointed out that something bad happened when he was young at the Marston house, and oddly is completely unrelated to what's happening there now. It's just he believes that house is inherently evil because of the evil that took place there.
And several people had died in that house.
And he really thinks the house is evil. It's not the house is haunted. No, it's evil. That's even worse.
Yeah,
evil resides
there. Knowing Stephen King general ideas, it may not be the house but the ground.
Oh,
they didn't say in the show, but it's a recurrent theme on his writing. It's
yes, Indian burial grounds, Pet Cemetery,
classic.
The Shining. Everything relates back to ancient burials, which is where the cliche term of on burial grounds, poltergeist did it. It's like at a certain point, we can stop doing that. Because I almost feel like at times they don't realize it, but what they're doing is they're blaming the American Indians for the evil that's happening. And I don't like it when they do that.
No, to me, it's blaming Americans for ignoring what this ground means to American Indians. And that's why they.
I also frown on the mysticism created around American Indians. I always thought that was weird. I've had a lot of friends, American Indian, family members, and there's nothing mystical about them. They have the same loves and passions.
Maybe it's because of their turn on religion, because to them nature is sacred. They don't need churches and stuff. Like Americans come from Europe, the non-native ones, so they have their religions with churches and all that, and Bible and whatnot. And American Indians are just so different. Maybe that's where the mysticism comes from.
Again, we have American Indian blood in our family and American Indians.
That's not what I'm talking about.
This is my favorite scene. The scene between these guys in the truck and then here being freaked out by that fucking crate. And how the crate is moving towards them in the truck reminded me of a scene from the Night Gallery, where this woman has a wingless vampire bat brooch that is actually made from a vampire. And as she runs, it moves up her lapel closer and closer to her neck. That scared the shit out of me as a kid. And that's what that scene reminded me of in this. And finally, Jeffrey Lewis's character is the one that says, "Yeah, we're getting out of here. Let's go. This is too fucking weird." And of course, Zunza is going to go catch Fred Willard with his woman. And I think that character was fine until you hear the door shut and you hear him slap his wife.
Yeah.
Because I was sympathetic with this character catching these two. But then he had to get physical. And it's like, oh, don't feel sorry for you anymore. Oh, yeah. The brothers, like, oh, this is so crazy. Leaving his little brother like that back in the woods. And I'm still so confused sometimes watching this film. Because when is it Straker that's doing the hunting and when is it the vampire? Because the vampire is in the crate, I thought. And so I was really confused that who got attacked in the woods. Now, at this point, when they leave, they flee the scene. Straker comes back and finds the crate exploded open. So now he's out and about. But the timing of the attacks are off. So I just assumed that was Straker. They got the boy. Because there he's got the body right now to give to the master. And of course, the master says, "Nah, motherfucker, I'm hungry right now." And he went out to get something. He's going to go kill Fred Willard right now.
Oh, Jacob is giving me an idea, Gary.
It's Gary.
You could edit that clip to where he bursts through the door. So he says he is Gary, and that's the start to your Saturday show when you discuss The Shining.
Oh, that is a great scene. Faith against faith. Face the master. I love that scene.
We need to do this.
Okay,
and
by what name are you known?
There are some who call me No, now go away or I shall taunt you a second time.
All right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And with doing the voice. He went. Yeah, love that chicken from Popeyes. And again,
sometimes
the
I do
reference
voices,
to
just never when you ask me to.
fried chicken takes me back to that Near Dark movie with Bill Paxton licking his fingers. His finger licking good. Him and his Texas accent. I love Bill Paxton. I miss that guy. I love this scene so much with him. Fuck, there's nothing in that shotgun. He's just fucking with this guy.
Yeah, and he pulls out a very convincing crazy guy face.
Zunza, again, is in my top 20 list of favorite actors. This guy is such a good actor. He was one of the main cops on that 90s police drama.
True Blue? No, that was 80s. No, I don't.
It's the one Dick Wolf makes. And that rung no bells for you. I feel sorry for you. Law and Order. That was where he got his start, was on that show. And he was the lead detective. Him and Rohrbeck, is that his name? He played Lumiere in the animated, Jerry Orbach. He played the Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast by Disney.
I didn't know that was him. I do remember him in Crimson Tide. Awesome.
He's also in Dirty Dancing, the dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's down there making out with the teacher or whatever Bedelia is. And fucking Straker and the vampire, by the way, the vampire can drive. Because both cars came there and one left. So that means the vampire drove. Just
Well,
you know.
they live for fucking ever. Why not learn how to drive a car? They must be bored.
Yeah, but he's European, so odds are he's a crappy driver.
Jesus. Direct your shit towards Southern Europe, okay? Because they drive like the devil. They drive like the devil. You know how they handle the narrow roads in Greece with the many turns? Before you enter a turn, you honk. So whoever's coming from the other side knows there's a car coming
Knows
up.
get the fuck out of your lane.
Well, no, that's a different battle. Then you have to decide who gets to back up to let the other guy pass, because
That's
there
insane.
are possibilities on the side of the road. Yeah.
Okay, I paused this for an instant because the way they did this was so horrifying to me as a kid. Watching this scene, scratching on the glass. This is brilliant shit right here. And on top of that, in order to create the floating and levitation and the creepiness of the moment, is there was a mixture of using a Dutch jib that he would sit on and he would be lifted from beyond the mist. There'd be a guy back there handling that jib, moving him around. And then they would also film a lot of it in reverse.
Yeah, the boy flying out of bed, that was done in reverse.
It's so fucking crazy.
It looks so good.
And I'm telling you, I saw this on TV. I was 14, hadn't turned 15 yet. And it scared the crap out of me, this window scene.
Yeah. If only his brother could have said the same. There's no way I'm getting close to that window.
Well, you know, his buddy Lance Kerwin knows better because he's a nerd. Nerds know better than to fall for that shit. But this is that glamour thing that vampires do. They use their ability to trick the person into thinking everything's normal to them. So in their mind's eye, they're seeing everything normal. Like, hey, what are you doing? Come on in.
They are like the things in From. They make people see what they want to see. It's total mindfuck.
Which we do have a new episode this week.
Ooh. Wait, other than the 2 episodes we're going to talk about tomorrow? There's another one? Oh, that's right. They drop on Thursday. Yes, absolutely. There's one more.
Oh, come on.
No, we're not going to do that tomorrow. We have 2 episodes set up for tomorrow.
Yep.
That's for Friday in 2 weeks, I think. So we have 2 again to talk about. So we need to figure out what to do next week on TGIF. Anyway, after the show.
Yeah. Oh, what did he say here? Yeah, Vampire. I remember that movie. Richard Lynch, the guy with the skin condition. And what's his name is in it too. Oh my God, he's Jason Miller, the guy who was the Father Damien in The Exorcist. And a lot of people don't know this. He is the father of what is his name? He was in Lost Boys, played the older brother.
On it.
Jason Patrick. Just give me a second, it'll come to me. I've got that deep drawer, but a much slower retrieval system. Now they're out looking for the boy. And he says, hey, there's a piece of cloth there. He goes, don't touch it. That was very clever of the cop to tell him not to touch it, because then, you know, he doesn't put his fingerprints or whatever on there. Because even though this is back before DNA, people are aware of DNA.
Yeah, well, they also totally do fingerprints back then.
And your fingerprint can transfer over to fabric, depending on the fabric. 30 Days a Night is pretty good. I'm not going to call it great, but I would say it's pretty good, aside for Fred. I'm friends with Steve Niles, and I actually did some of the work. That's how I met him, was working with him through IDW as their animator. I did animated trailers for his books.
Yeah, I have a fun story about fingerprints, by the way. I set my work phone so I don't have to type in the code every time it shuts off, because that's 5 minutes. I can't have it any longer. My workplace doesn't want that. So I set it to recognize my thumb, my right thumb. And I slashed it last week, like cut it, and it's healed now. But now it doesn't recognize my fingerprint anymore. I tried.
Here it is.
That's not you. That's annoying.
Yeah. Here it is. That's a familiar Italian expression meaning goodbye. And he's like, "You're Italian?" No, the expression is. I love the little banter in this. And I do like that his cop instinct is telling him something smells about this guy.
He has a hunch.
Like I said, are you on duty? I am always on duty, 24/7. And he is. You see, no matter the time of the day, he's doing police work. He's checking everything, always.
He was born for
There's
that.
another actor. He had a tragic end. He had been in an automobile accident, and it caused spinal injury, and he was in constant chronic pain from it, and eventually took his own life.
That's so sad. That medicine still hasn't figured out how to work with people like that.
Now, here's one that annoyed Anima. It's like, why is the IV dripping? Why do you hear dripping? And I went, I don't know. There are 2 IVs there, and one of them is dripping into another.
Yeah, but why the dripping noise? I've never heard that.
I've never heard it either. It's a quiet drip, but I don't know. He put it in there.
I sat with my mom through so many chemo sessions, and she had like 3, sometimes 4 different substances mixing into each other, and never was dripping to be heard. Never. That just irks me the same way. Like, you see a person unconscious on a hospital bed, and you hear the breathing machine, but the person is not on a ventilator. That's like,
oh yeah.
Can't you do the simplest of research?
Here's one of my favorites: when somebody wakes up and coughs.
Yeah.
It's such a trope. Like, why are you fucking choking awake? What is with that in film? So, little brother's coming back for a little more late night snack. Oh, you still got some blood left for me. Can I have it? Yeah, man. Come on.
Little Timmy asking for more.
This is done in complete reverse. And it looks very creepy because they shot the entire thing in reverse. You're the exception, Bush. A majority of people do not wake up coughing. And they'll do it too if people got knocked out.
Yeah, they
wake up
cough
choking and coughing. It's like, I've been around a lot of people knocked out. And
I do it with a delay. I wake up, and then when I've been up for a bit, then I
cigarette smokers do. People who are heavy smokers. My dad would wake up and he'd be hacking up a lung. Which reminds me of that line from Phil Hartman. He says, because he quit smoking, and Dave asks him on news radio, he says, "How are you doing?" He says, I don't feel right. I woke up, I coughed up something that looked like escargot.
No, that was so good. Man, I want to go back to that show.
Oh, this is
Yeah, we got to
round two
finish the
between
last 2
these.
seasons.
I want to at least watch to the point where Phil was written out. I don't think I can go past that, but I'll try.
What kind of smoker? Pole smoker? Cigarette smoker?
Probably everything. I don't know.
No, I'm teasing Bush. He said smoker. And I said, what kind
Yeah,
of
no.
smoker? I said pole.
Well, you know, with him, chances are he means his meat smoker.
Meat smoker. There you go.
He does shit like that. He's a meat smoker.
You know, you're not supposed to
provide
stick your
us
head in
with
that
food.
thing. You're not supposed to. Or as my kid would have said when she was 4, not a supposed to. So that's it. That's the last time you really deal with that character. The wife, the cheating wife. Now, a lot of people don't know that David Soul was not just part of the Hollywood team up of Starsky and Hutch. He was Starsky, or he was Hutch, sorry, Hutchinson. But he's also a singer-songwriter.
Yeah,
And he wrote a hit song. Don't give up on us, baby. Yeah, he wrote that trying to save his marriage, and but he went too far when he was drunk. And she wanted nothing more to do with him.
But the song is so pretty.
that and Time in a Bottle.
I'm in a bottle. It's Croce. Isn't that Croce?
No, it's him. Well, I know he sang that one. Maybe it was a cover, but he sang that one.
Silver Lady. Don't give up on us. Bird on a Wire. Yeah, hold on.
Great. Now I have that song in my head, Gerry.
Yeah, Jim Croce wrote Time in a Bottle. But David did perform it, but that's not his song. So this is the scene where he's burying the kid. And because there's just enough shadow in there, he can feed. Look, where's the sudden wind coming from? Yep, Robert Urich and David Soul, Magnum Force. There was a third cop, but he didn't become a star.
Bon appetit, Peter Bergman fansite, and
But that sounds
now
yummy.
I am even hungrier.
Yeah, I need to heat up my soup here in a minute. I didn't finish my soup and I'm hungry. I made beef soup with noodles.
Are there vegetables in it too?
Well, Bush, nobody's perfect. We still love you.
Oh, you hate taste then? That's sad.
I am a fan of blue cheese, but in the dressing. I like it in blue cheese dressing.
Yeah.
On everything. I can eat that shit even alone. I fucking love it.
Oh, together with grapes, Martin. Have you tried that? Blue cheese and grapes?
Hey, Bush, pictures or it didn't happen.
Yeah, food porn. Come on. You announced it. Deliver.
I may make a pizza later tonight. I do it with tortilla shells, white tortilla.
Ooh, that would make a super thin crust.
A little pasta or pizza sauce on it.
I like that idea.
Cheese and pepperonis, it's good.
Because the dough is the thing I care least for in a pizza, but using a tortilla, that would make a super thin crust.
I do it on a stovetop too, because that way it gets crispy. I had all of those figures that he was building there. Those were all model kits. Polar Lights puts them out now. It's the same ones that Polar Lights puts out. I can't remember the name of the company back in the 60s and on into the 70s that did it. 80s, actually, all the way into the 80s. And then Polar Lights took over.
Bush, that shit looks great, man. I'm seeing the pictures in the group now.
Oh, is he posting it?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I shouldn't have.
I have to go look later. I can't during the show.
Aurora. That's who did it. And Aurora got bought out by Polar Lights. They had some great model kits. All right,
that's the way I like it. The thinner, the better.
Ditto. I prefer thin crust. I don't like the big, thick crust. It's like bread.
I just care for the toppings. I don't care for the crust at all. So the thinner, the better.
Eric O'Sullivan posted on the video playing on Twitter right now. He said it has 3 distinct jump scares that get me every time, and I saw it on TV in '79, Channel 7 CBS. It came out around my birthday, and I turned 7 years old. Holds up, in my opinion, to this day. Have fun. All right, thanks a lot, buddy. Now I'll go check see what food porn Bush is shared here.
Oh, one day the show is going to end early because Bush's food porn makes everybody so hungry that nobody can keep streaming.
That looks really good. I like that thin crust.
Gotta go. Need to make lunch. Bye.
I love this scene where he just stumbles in and he looks like, fucking dead already. Jeffrey Lewis, he worked with Clint Eastwood a lot. He was a great fucking actor. And he was one of the best parts of this movie, playing the grave digger. The death of his dog. There's Lou Ayres, the actor I told you about from World War II. Was in the movie All's Quiet on the Western Front. So he's like, maybe we need to get you. So he welcomes him to stay with him while he's sick. And while he's with him, he becomes a vampire. He rescinds his invitation. Yeah, now the kid's going to try to get Lance Kerwin's character. And he's like, fuck that noise. He pulls out a crucifix. Cross.
Thank you.
My answer to you saying crucifix, and you getting upset is to say Jesus Christ.
I like that.
Hey, man. I mean, man. It's me, Dave, man. I got the stuff. Yeah, this scene was clearly stolen from Cheech and Chong.
From what?
It's me, Dave, man. Dave? Yeah, Dave, man. Dave, man. I got the stuff. Dave? Yeah, Dave. Dave's not here.
Help me out, guys. Where's that from?
Oh, that's Cheech and Chong were a comedic duo of the two.
He knows who it is. I played it for her and she hated it.
That's what. Yeah, I have a very faint memory, but I can't recall it even. So
I prefer the movies to the records, to be honest.
I enjoyed their records though, because that's what we had sometimes early on, and we'd sit there like, the kamikaze, before we launch our flights, take part in the ceremonial sake. Are there any questions? Yes, you in the back. Yeah. Are you fucking crazy?
I like the one they put they are carrying a guy in the car's trunk.
Yeah, that's just old classic stuff off the records. Your imagination did everything for you. It's like listening to radio. I'm sorry. I just laughed at something Andy sent me. I'm going to ignore it now. It was basically Whoopi Goldberg if Whoopi Goldberg and Jabba the Hutt had a child.
Well, she
Oh my
looks like
God.
it.
I need to wash my eyes with soap now.
I've always been torn. Do I prefer cobbler over pie or pie over cobbler? And I think it depends. Like I prefer cherry pie over cherry cobbler. I prefer apple pie over apple cobbler, but I would eat peach cobbler any day of the week over cherry or apple pie.
I don't know what cobbler is. So
Um, go look it up. Peach cobbler, country style. Yeah, Jeffrey Lewis and Wilford Brimley both had that same kind of real quality to them in their performances. Now, here's another actor in the film, the lady here, who was a femme fatale in the 40s.
oh my God, Andy just sent me a picture.
Oh, did he send it to you? Okay.
Yes, the
What he
Henry
said to
Cavill
me.
one.
Oh, wait, what? I don't know that one.
Yeah, but I'm not bringing that up on.
I'm only looking
stream.
at the one. I'm only looking at the one of Whoopi Goldberg. What are you looking at?
Oh, let me
Share it
resend
with me on
it to you.
Facebook. And that's just it. They don't realize that once you've turned, the wounds heal. That was something I liked. That once you are no longer human, the vampire bites heal.
Right, Ben Masger?
MVP? What does that mean?
More valuable player. Most valuable player.
Okay.
It's a sports term. So, they do it in European football, American football, baseball, basketball. MVP, the most valuable player of the game, who had the biggest impact on that game.
I know about that concept. I've
Match.
never heard that before, though. MVP.
And again, I want to point out that it's the supporting cast are all outstanding actors with great backgrounds in stage and film. So everybody just nails their characters. And see, when you go into Straker's shop, it's clear that this is what inspired Needful Things, because he's the same character as Max von Sydow. Where everything you buy is cursed.
Mhm.
I like that concept.
Now I have a question. How did the vampire get into Mark's house? Because he wasn't invited.
Oh, question. I don't remember.
Maybe it's
I
what
don't-
you're saying. Maybe it's something that they bought from the. That makes sense. If you bought something from the store,
Oh my God, yeah.
That's an invite? Oh my God, that's
yes,
creepy.
you're
Because that's his
fucked.
mom. That's his mother buying it.
Yep. She
And if
was
she's
buying
having
something
it
for
delivered, and if she has it delivered in particular,
smart vampire.
I like that.
Thank God they don't have a web front.
oh my God, that would be awful.
Don't give people ideas.
Dead air, dead air.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember this movie.
I like how the Mears, that's his name, right? Ben Mears, yes. He sent his old teacher into the rabbit hole with the whole thing about the evil in the house and the ghost. And now his teacher is almost a vampire killer, a vampire hunter.
I actually do believe that it's the curio shop is the reason why he was able to enter the house, because it shows them buying something, and clearly part of the reason for this being, and it's not explained in the show, the reason to have a shop like that is to have the invitation to deliver.
That is so
That's the
cursed.
creepy
I
scene.
like it.
It's not just that the item is cursed, but that if it's delivered,
Yep, the
The
invitation.
whole idea. I meant the whole
it's an
idea is
invitation.
cursed. It's
Oh,
wicked,
yeah.
if you prefer that.
Now this scene is so awesome because he does it. I revoke, your invitation, and he puts the cross out into his fucking face, sending him flying out the window, meaning he can't come back in because he's rescinded his invitation. But then after he does that heroic measure, fucking has a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
Defeats the vampire in his house and fucking has a heart attack afterward. Thank God it's a rotary phone. Fuck.
Yeah. Right. That was hard to watch.
He has to now dial the entire fucking number.
I remember phones like that.
I'm sorry, I've got a dark sense of humor. I just think that's fucked up as hell.
It is.
No speed dials back in the 70s, man. Sorry. No buttons.
My grandma had a phone like that all the way up into the 90s, her landline. And my siblings and I, we would have fights over who got to dial mom to come pick us up, because it was so cool to stick your finger in the wheel and then drag it to the number that you wanted. And then the challenge was leave your finger in as the dial goes back. Oh man, I'm old.
This is so sad. Danny Glick's been feeding off mom again. First it was milk and now it's blood.
Oh my God.
Ew. He's such a gross weirdo.
Yeah, but he's your gross weirdo.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Martin. I keep forgetting that.
Even Bush is gross out.
Yeah, even Bush is grossed out. That means something. You broke Bush, Gerry.
Not an easy feat.
And the funny part is, you guys are probably taking what I said wrong, because the first time she fed him was when he was a baby, was milk. And
We
now
got
it's
that,
blood.
Gerry. We're not
So-
stupid. We're not stupid. It's still gross.
Oh, you had to retaste your pizza. Good. Was it as good the second time? Now, I've never seen an outdoor clock with a pendulum before. Have you?
Did
you see
I'm
that?
not sure.
No.
Hey, Kitty
I think
Bear.
that- What do
Go
you
back.
mean? Hi,
Hey, Kitty Bear, what's up, man?
What
Right
the
there.
fuck? Yes, I haven't seen that. No.
I've never seen an outdoor church clock or spire
No,
clock of any kind outdoor that had a pendulum.
no, that's not a thing.
I'm like, that's fucking weird looking.
Yeah, but Bush didn't enjoy the retaste.
He didn't expect Gerry to answer to that, so he shouldn't be surprised though. It's not like he's new to the channel or something.
Yeah, I did talk to Lauren real quick because she's got back to the store and she got me 3 bottles of the tea. Awesome. I love that green tea. I'm now hooked on it. I'm addicted to it.
As long as it's the sugar-free one.
Yeah.
Just be aware.
You know,
it
I
has caffeine.
I drank in one day one of those entire bottles with the sugar, and I didn't know it had the
That's
sugar. I'm like,
bad.
I sure not. My fucking spike was crazy. This is the scene, and I am telling you, that's what it is. It's the curiosity shop that is the entrance into everybody's homes. How the vampire is going to be able to get in every house. And it's either because they deliver it or it has something to do with the item itself. And I always loved this scene because it scared the crap out of me. Like, what just came through the window? The hell is that? Because first it begins shaking, and then that. It comes through the window and lands on the ground flat, and then rises up. Oh my God. And the dude that
Inflates.
plays the vampire, I always thought it was a different actor. When I was younger, I thought it was a specific actor playing this part. And later, when I don't think it was IMDb, but it might have been the first iteration of IMDb when it launched back in 95, 96. That I learned that the actor I thought had played the vampire was not the actor I thought it was. And in fact, the guy who plays the vampire in this is Reggie Nelder. He plays Kurt Barlow in this. And he pretty much, all he ever played is like bad guys and in horror films. So it just really shocked me because the guy I thought it was, he was that, you couldn't tell if he's Italian or Spanish, but he looked something. And he had horrible pox scars on his face. And that's who I thought it was. Look at see if I can find the guy. And I'm not thinking of the Italian opera singer actor that Anima hates because she met him. He's an asshole. I love him, Robert Davi, who I'm thinking someone else might think I'm talking about. It's not him.
Yeah, I
Was
really
an opera
hate
singer?
Davi. I didn't know about that, and I never met him, but I hate him for the stories that people tell about him, for the way he treated girls on set. He's a predator. And he's fully into method acting, so he doesn't care whether he hurts people in a scene with him. He's just going for it.
Welcome back, mommy. I like how David Solis, I will not fear, at the same time asking for the other guy, crying. And he fixed a cross, not a crucifix, but he fixed a cross. I'm tiptoeing the borderline here, Anima.
Yeah. I'm noticing.
Oh man, I don't know. They are. They should be at least a little more freaked out seeing a real vampire for the first time. I think they are very copacetic about it.
They just don't want to admit it.
Oh no, they know there's a vampire. They burn
Yeah,
the forehead with a cross. They saw everything. They saw her disappear. And they are making plans of, okay, let's send your daughter to another city, and we're gonna do this and that. I would be more in the vein of, fuck this shit. I'm out of town.
Yeah,
No,
I'm on
thinking
vacation for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, we have somebody new here. Welcome, John the Beagle Dad.
Is that a new person or is it Dawn in disguise? Because Beagle makes me go to Bailey immediately. Anyway, hi Beagle Dad.
Oh, we have a
Whoa.
variation. How whoa? It's a barkification of how.
It's John the Onion.
Oh, hey, John Chipola.
It's
Long
been a
time no
while. Where
see.
have you been? How about this good? We always notice
That
when
is
you
a,
guys stay away.
is that a picture of your doggo? Because it's a nice picture.
That's a cutie for sure.
Yeah, I cannot find this guy. I went looking for him. Can't find him. But when I was younger, that's who I thought was playing the vampire in this.
I don't remember the death of Weasel. Did it happen off screen?
What?
You know the drunkard of the town, Weasel, ex-husband of the.
Yeah, they never show it. He's also a famous actor too. He was in the Maltese Falcon. It just so many things went nowhere with characters you get introduced to. By the way, Piper Laurie absolutely could have been a bigger star. Alfred Hitchcock. He was a power guy, and he did not want her succeeding without him. And Piper Laurie was warned about him.
Oh, the book show. Yeah, because you don't see him anymore, and then you see Eva saying, "Oh, crying for him," and then it was, "What? Did he die?"
You don't know. I think things ended up on the cutting room floor, is what I think, and it's sad. because I don't know if we ever got if any of that survived. Yeah, that cellar always spooks me. She's looking for Lance Kerwin, who's going in there to kill him. I'm going to kill him. I'm a child. I'm going to kill that vampire.
Well,
and in the process,
technically,
he's the reason. By the way, the floor, that looks like just piles of bird shit. And it always grosses me out when I see the inside of this house.
It is pretty gross, yeah.
They try to make it look like feathers, but if there are feathers there's shit too.
Did they go crazy on the cobwebs on this one too? Because they like doing that.
No, that was the exterior on another film. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, the Dracula, the original Dracula from 31.
Yeah, the one that we talked yesterday. Yeah, outside
like cobwebs inside, not outside.
But they like to overdo them either way, even on the inside. They go crazy with it sometimes.
Yeah, they get that candy cotton machine going.
Yeah. You know what that's called like over here in Britain? Candy floss. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, no, but it makes sense. It's string. Yeah.
Yeah, but
a royale with cheese.
Not good for your teeth like flosses.
Well, it's pure sugar.
I know. Just it has always been weird to me that it's called floss.
Nice, Kitty Bear.
Yeah.
Hello. We're going to eat you.
My name is James Mason. And guess what? The master's going to really like you. And you don't really get a hint to his supernature until the scene where he grabs the old teacher and lifts him off the ground and carries him physically into the antlers on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is where the cop's like, yeah, I'm done with this town. Because they haven't really shown what's going on. They're trying to keep it down to just the main vampire. But the fact is, this town has been overrun by vampires. And it's the only thing they left out in this. And I understand they put it into the new film, but the new film's crap. So
the guy gives him a revolver. Here, kill vampires with this shit.
Here,
right.
you need this.
Well, you could do wooden bullets.
What I always thought was something that should have been added into the story, may have been in the original book, I don't know, is there's this thing that's so weird about haunted fucking towns that just disappeared overnight.
What do you mean disappeared?
The population.
We have a few of them here in Missouri. They aren't here anymore. The town's still standing. Some places burned down. People are all gone and left. And why?
How can that happen?
Roanoke.
It's happened all the time since the founding of this country. The first ones that we know about is the Roanoke colony.
That's creepy.
Well, we finally have an answer that they did. They left because he took too long coming back with supplies. So they left the village with a note that said Krakatoa. And they went to the Krakatoa tribe and mixed in with the tribe. and were helped by the tribe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it was a weird mystery. I mean, they even had it used as one of the premises for a season of American Gothic or American
Did it take
Horror
them so
Story.
long to find the note, or why was it a mystery?
No, the note was there all along, but they didn't know what it meant. They couldn't figure out what it meant, and they couldn't find evidence. And finally, evidence was found. DNA is what they found.
Interesting.
And this is where the old guy gets it. Actor Lou Ayres bites the big one here. There he is. Oh no, it's the father-in-law, future father-in-law. That's what it was. He gets
not much future there anymore.
Well, at that point, she was already a vampire, so that was out of this scene. Oh my god, Fright Night stole this scene completely.
Absolutely, because it always reminds me of this scene. Yeah.
When they kill the familiar in the stairs.
The big difference is he doesn't become applesauce.
And doesn't explode.
See, I've only seen both those things once. I feel so unnerdy because I just don't remember every detail like you guys do, who've seen that multiple times. I feel like I have to hand in my nerd card now.
Ghost Town.
Ghost Town, Oklahoma, recent too. The farming all went corporate because they had bad tax breaks and federal backing. They couldn't afford to import goods. Everyone left. Yeah, it fucking happens all the time.
Corporal
So
greed
fucking
destroying
weird.
everything.
Government enforced corporate greed.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Lou Ayres. It was I just forgot his name. I almost said Dicehard. It's not Dicehard. It's, oh my God. Flanders. Ed Flanders.
Not to be confused with Ned Flanders.
Yeah, from The Simpsons.
Yeah, not to be confused with Ned Flanders. And Ed played some great parts in his career. One of the biggest things was right around a year after this, he was one of the main stars in what was that hospital drama from the 80s? No, it's Nighttime. St. Elsewhere. Just give me a second and my brain kicks in. Lauren was in the background yelling at me. Different titles.
You deserve it.
But I remember on my own.
Gerry.
St. Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Lou Ayres and Olivia de Havilland. Yeah, The Dark Mirror. But Ed Flanders also took over the role of Father Dyer in Exorcist 3. And he was really good in it. But he was already having problems at that point and physical maladies. Yeah, they are so screwed. Him and David Soul. And that's the creepy part. Them crawling out of that cellar is what led to that scene in my script, The Darker, where they come out of the wall of the sewer. And he looks bluish gray instead of gray. That's because it was colorized and lit for television, and they didn't do color correction for the movie when they did it on Blu-ray. They should have.
Budget reasons, or what was the reason behind that?
Probably didn't know to. Because the guys that worked on the Blu-ray weren't the people who worked on the original film. So they probably just went in there without knowing why it was color. The colors were certain colors in it. It's for 70s TV.
Yeah, makes sense.
If I remembered all I watched, my head would be, nah, because I have the inside of my head is a skyscraper. It's just bigger on the inside than on the outside. That's my brain. And it's okay to have a brain like that, Kitty Bear. It's okay, man. I love remembering stuff. And there he says that it will purify. The fire will purify Salem's Lot. Because by burning down the buildings, they'll have no place to hide.
Fire is powerful. Not just with destruction, also in the mystical aspect.
What is that line from Pete Townshend's song? Something that can only be cleansed with fire. It's the song Give Blood. Oddly related to blood, like this movie. And now we are with them in, where are they? Nicaragua? Is that where they went? I can't remember. I don't think they went to South America. I think they're Central America. And it seems like it's Nicaragua. And it's a real church, by the way. It still exists to this day, this church. That they're not in, but the exterior. That's a movie set they're in.
Yeah, it's probably next to impossible.
And we all
permit to film in an actual church.
Yeah, we love this miniseries and movie so much that we kept begging for a sequel at the time. People would write into Fangoria, Starlog, and shit like, come on, man. When are we going to get a sequel? And then they make a movie called Return to Salem's Lot. And it's just crap. It's not a sequel. We wanted to see the continuation of these two characters. And what sucks is we get a new movie again, and from everyone I respect says it's crap. I'm going to watch it, but I heard it's crap. And when she didn't open her eyes, we knew she was a vampire. It's like, don't go to him. Don't get any closer. Oh my God, what are you doing? And then you realize he lifts his hand up and he's got the stake in it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to watch a new anime while you listen? Okay. Well, we're going to be ending here in about 10 minutes. I got to finish my soup. I'm still so hungry for that beef soup.
I need to go to bed.
Good stuff.
Welcome. Am I dead yet? No, I don't think you are.
Great name. I really like it.
Hello. If anything was meant to be a TV series, it was this. Like an ongoing, going from town to town.
Like The Fugitive?
Like The Fugitive. Oh, that's a terrible name.
What?
Harry Suckman. Harry Suckman.
Oh, speaking of names, I had an order come in today made by a Tony Stark. Isn't that cool?
We know a Tony Stark.
I know. But we get awesome
so let me
names sometimes. And sometimes we get names that are just like, yeah, that's a dare between kids. Like, you don't dare order something using that name, and then they do, and it never gets picked up. Shit like that happens. We're having fun with it.
So with Ed Flanders, the guy who played the doctor that dies there in the house, he was in some really good stuff. Exorcist 3 with George C. Scott, great fucking movie. Saying Elsewhere, The Ninth Configuration, which is another film written and also directed by William Peter Blatty, the guy who wrote the first Exorcist. And let's see, what else is he in here? Because he was just a prolific actor. I told you about this. He played Harry S. Truman in Plain Speaking, based off of his book. Let's see, what else was he in? My goodness. IMDb does not want to load right now, so they're being kind of... They can load the ad, but they can't load the information about him.
No, because the ad is way more important than the information.
So I'm forcing it to load again. Because he was in some good films. Yeah, it's not wanting to load because I think I'm on camera. There we go. The last thing he did before he self-deleted was Bye Bye Love back in 95. Citizen Cone with James Wood. Let's see. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that one up. That movie, The Pursuit of D.B. Cooper. That's a good movie, if you've never seen that one. He was in the film True Confessions, which was a quasi retelling of the Black Dahlia murder. Let's see. Boy, just good stuff here. He played Truman several times. He played Truman in Eleanor and Franklin, the story of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Boy, he's been going since 75. Oh, well. We lost him too soon, all due to chronic pain. People need to learn, doctors need to be better at helping treat people for chronic pain.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Like, I have chronic pain, and my doctor doesn't do shit for me right now. I need a specialist, and one day I'll get another specialist.
One day, yeah.
Did they skip the priest? No, he died in the movie. He faced the master. Faith
with not enough
versus
faith, apparently.
It's a good miniseries. It's a great film. If you get a chance, the Blu-ray is the one with the full film. It's 3 hours and 3 minutes long. It's the entire miniseries, and it is really good. And I think there's still some things missing in it. You can really see it. The more you watch it, the more you realize, well, what happened to that person? What happened to this person? You catch things like that. But in the end, I do believe that the mystery of how he got into the house or other people's houses was because of the fact they're either part of that household already, like being attacked by a member of the family, or if he was going into the house, it's because of the items sold by Straker at the Curiosity Shop.
That's genius. I really like that.
So, but that's it. Any last thoughts, Martin, Anima, on this?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Very.
I really enjoyed that.
Very good. Well, then I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank, let's get to the private chat here. I want to thank Penny for dropping in, Andy Morrow, Slasher. And Andy, thanks again for all the memberships that you paid for today. Very nice of you. Slasher Fred, thanks for the information. Tom Baker, FKHC 2005, a.k.a. Tim. Rain on Asphalt. Nordy, Wade. And I'll go back and I'll look at your post from earlier, Wade, if you're still here. the Comic Relief Crusader, the Peter Venkman's fan site, also known as Venkman's Girl.
That was cool.
Jacob, the Critic, my buddy Jacob. John the Beagle Dad, also known as what's his last name from before?
John
Chipola.
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 Which means
that's
onion.
it. Kirby's 100 and Am I Dead Yet? Which I do like that name. Really good name.
Very fitting
Thank
for
you
this
guys
month's
all for
topic.
being here. See you guys tomorrow for TGIF. We will be talking about From. I don't know. Will you be here, Anima, or are you going to be going?
I will be here. I can't promise I'll make it all through the show. I might have to bow out like after the first hour because I have to be up super early on Saturday and I have a crazy busy weekend ahead of me, which is why I won't be able to make it to Saturday's show. But
Excuses.
the guys are going to talk about The Shining anyway, and that is heavily on the list of movies I'll never watch. So I'm cool with that.
She'll watch it.
I'll be
She'll
back
watch
for
it.
Military Monday. No, she will not.
I may bump it to the next. I'll bump it to the next week just to make you watch it with me. So,
Fuck
but anyway,
you.
we're gonna get the hell out of here, guys. Everybody have a good Thursday. See you guys for TGIF tomorrow.
Bye, nerds.
Happy Halloween. And for you vampires,
Bye.
happy hunting. Hunting?